All right, let's get a sound check here. You guys should be able to hear me, and it looks like closed captioning's working, so that's good. Let me connect over here. Clear that stuff up that we were working on the last few days over in the labs. I've got some stuff to do over here too. Okay. All right. Good. We are getting set up here. We're not working too hard tonight. The wife went over to a, what is the wife doing? Hey, how's it going, Quartz? The wife went over to book club, so she'll be there for around an hour and a half or so. She meets up with one of my friends from high school. Actually, I have a friend from like 7th grade that his wife and my wife meet up, and then two other of their friends meet up, and they have a little girls, you know, what's it called, book club. So they go meet up and do all that stuff. And my wife, true to form, is always behind. It's kind of funny. She was listening to her book when we were sitting at dinner right now. She brought some food home, and we were sitting there, and she's sitting there like not even listening to me. And I'm like, hey, can you hear me? And she like stops her thing and looks up at me, and she's like, I have 40 minutes left of this book to read before book club. I'm like, oh, wifey. All right, anyways, Schizophrenic and Zorgal, how's it going, guys? Yeah, we're doing all the Linux here. I'm going to start setting up a little bit for... I think I'm going to start looking at some stuff for our home lab. Oh, specifically, if we come over here, I need to probably show you guys this and then stop this for a second and zoom this over and say for this week in the range, right, in the built and finished range of hammer block, right, I have to put together a Keycloak server. And Keycloak will probably get oh, those are not 50. Hold on, I gotta fix those. They are 50. They are 151 through. That's what it was. Okay, thought that looked weird. I'm like, wait a minute, 151 through 169, but it's actually 75 because. Hold on, I gotta go check. Goes through 70 IP header. Hold on. Yeah, it goes up through 175 as I would think it does. Okay, good. So that's what we wanted there. That's to be expected in our labs here. Oh, yeah, sorry guys. I'm like super yawning. So I need to build Keycloak, and he's going to be on, let's make sure. Let's check, let's make him 235. All right, he'll be 235. All right. We're going to make a server that'll be out on 235, and it will be Keycloak. It'll be representative of all the LDAP stuff we're going to be doing this week. So I'm going to go over to keycloak.org, toss it up in here for you guys, and that should pop up for you guys. Yeah, there we go. And we'll go down to download and see what our options are for this. I know we can run it in our Kubernetes, but I might just see, yeah, they've got a container image we could run. We got an operator for Kube and OpenShift. We're running Kubernetes live in the in the system if we wanted, or we could do to powered by Quarkus. Let's see. Admin authorization client. Okay. Third party. Who's this? Huh. That's interesting that they don't have their own page. We don't need that right now. All right. Let's go to our docs real quick. And we're going to go look up our installation. It should be. Need TLS, need a host name, okay. First proxy so we can hit it even when it's down, or even when other nodes can't hit it, sure. Have multiple instances of it, configure firewall, sure. Where's their, hold on. Okay. Interesting enough. Okay. Let's look at, we're going to be doing the OpenJDK version. Isobu, how's it going? And Amber over on the YouTube side, thanks for stopping by. We're not working too hard tonight. I did a whole bunch of streaming this weekend, and we did a whole lot of Linux. So now we're kind of working in the home lab a little bit, right? We're looking at some stuff that I will be building out for the system, and then let's see, what is this link address? Let's go look at how do we want to do this? Need OpenJDK 21. Okay. Well then let's go see if we can maybe get this thing set up a little bit. For fun, we'll try it on one of our, let's look at our CPU and sizing requirements. Oh, that's a lot of RAM. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. Doesn't look too bad there either. Okay. All right. I can link this to anybody if anybody wants it. Just the information that we're looking at here. Drop it in the chat for you guys. All right, so I got that. Get rid of that. And let's just, for fun, got a lot on Rocky 1, so maybe I'll go to like Rocky, I don't know, 15. It's probably one that's, oh, it's also had a fair amount. Let's go like 18. I don't think there's been too many people on there. Okay, yeah, that's less anyways. I think those were mostly me anyways. All right, so let's go look at all right, so the boxes are 4 gigs and 2 CPU. That'll probably at least work. Let's give it the old college try. Let's give it the old college try. All right, so we're in here. Let's download that and put it to. Doesn't really matter what I do. Is that not? Is this just going to take? Oh, that's annoying. Well, that's working, so I want it. That's super weird. Alright, well, guess we'll push it up a different way. Give me a second here. Key cloak up to S Champagne at .245. All right, it's been pushed. So over here, we've got it there. So SCP over to, I think I might have to push it to Scott at Werewolf temp for now. Oh, whoop. The file over there. All right, there we go. It's fine, I don't give a shit. All right, back over here. Oops. Exit, and we'll SCP key cloak from here into Rocky 18 in root key cloak. There we go. And SCP to key cloak. Yeah, there we go. That's good enough. Hey, Fisherman, how's it going? And Amber over on there. Oh, that's probably right, Amber. You're probably right. I was probably being dumb there. Yeah, you're right. I probably had it in the wrong place. That's fine. I just pulled it down manually. All right, so unzip. I don't even know if I have that on here. And I need to make sure I have the JDK on the box first, or for that too. So let's clear this up. PWD LS. I'm going to grab my notes real quick. And my notes are here. And I'm going to go to a new notepad here. And I'm going to grab these objects because I might need them. And yeah, I think you're right about my. I think it was just that I had the O in the wrong place. That was my bad. So I'll just move the O over here. Yeah, there you go. That was my bad. I was being a noob. Boom. There we go. Okay. So we got that in case we need to pull that down. Fisherman, how you been? You've been working a lot? I think you've been super busy. We got lots of stuff going on the server. We just hit 3,800 people today in the Discord, so that's pretty awesome. I mean, we've been. I remember just last year at just the end of March, we hit 1,000, and then we kind of blew up a little bit. Oh, you got a vacation coming up? Nice. You can take the electric bikes out. All right, let's make sure that we have maybe this. Oh, you guys can't see. I just realized you guys can't see my notepad. I don't have. Hold on. Let me switch the way I'm doing this a little bit. I will put on my streaming, but just for now, I'm gonna leave my camera off. So there's my streaming. Okay, yeah, this is a little. Sorry, guys. I realized afterwards. I was like, wait, they can't see my notepad because I was sharing a different way. You're going to Florida? Nice. You going with your friends or family? Bringing the family down with you. All right, guys. For this steps, by the way, I'm gonna do one other thing. Anytime you do this stuff, you always want to grab where you got it from. So I'm gonna go grab that and say, here, and then bare metal, open JDK 1, from terminal, do this, and then we've got that unzipped. But before we run it, right? Before we run that bin KC, we're going to make sure that we have, we're going to search all for JDK. Let's see if we have any JDK stuff. Fam, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Good to have the family with you. All right. Now, we need JDK at least version 21. That's what they're saying over here. Make sure you have open JDK 21. So let's go look over here if there's versions that we need to think about. There are versions, it seems. We don't just say Java whatever. We would say Java 21 open JDK, most likely. If there is just a raw 21 open. Yeah, so what this will typically do, if you guys can see my screen there, what this will typically do is it'll install all these other things that are needed, right? So this is kind of a thing. Amber, yeah, the events. So if you guys go into our Discord, yeah, let me show you guys real quick. So the question was, are the events recorded? The ones that we're doing, right? We got a lot of events. We got the security engineering study group that the guys are doing. The Linux sysadmin course and the security engineering course are running, and there's a lot of people coming to those. I'd say we have about 40, 50 people each time, so that's pretty good. The writer's room is actually pretty big too, and it definitely has more than 11. Then the Bash study group just got started today, so a few of you guys are thinking of going and getting involved with that, so that's awesome. And then there's the conferences that are coming up, which I'm trying to get more people to come and speak to. I've got a military guy who's been hacking for the U.S. government, and specifically in military operations. He's going to come talk to you guys. I got one of my buddies that's an economist who is big in AI, ML, and using just massive amounts of churning data for economic analysis. So he's going to come. And then I have my brother who runs, he's running a $150 million project in data analytics now over at his company. Some of you guys have been around and seen him work to even get in data analytics, and then now he's like doing all this stuff. So they're all coming at this one. Anyway, so the question was, are they recorded? Yeah, if you come here to the beginner start here section, here are the 10 weeks security Linux engineering course. It's one of my, in the Het Tanis channel on YouTube. It's over there. Only the first 2 weeks are recorded so far because that's all we've done. I'm prepping this week, in fact. That's what I'm doing right now. Excuse me. And all 16 weeks of the sysadmin course are already done. So you guys could work ahead on that if you wanted. So that's that. You guys are always welcome to hang out down in Discord, by the way. Like, that's free. Doesn't cost anything. Let's do a... We want Java 21 Open JDK. So DNF install, and let's hit that real quick. And let's see what all his dependencies are. There's probably a massive amount of dependencies, sure. We're going to do that. Yeah, I hear Ranger down there coughing up a storm. What's he doing? Just standing around. So he's coughing a whole bunch. He's so old, guys. He's just so old. Such an old dog. But he's a good dog. He's a very old one. Yeah, look at all the dependencies over there. All right. I think Ranger's just old and coughing downstairs or something. I don't know what's going on with him. But all right, we won't creep on him too much because we got to watch some of this other stuff. But anyways, we'll be over here, and then we say, all right. So let's in this directory, right? We're gonna do bin kc.sh and then start -dev, and that's supposed to start our server. And to be honest, let's let it run. To be honest, what we really should do with this start is background this. We don't want this running. Oh. But let's let this go, and then I may have to. I'm going to open another window to Rocky real quick to check something. Rocky 18. There's KeyCloak running. Here it is. It's doing whatever it's doing. It's locked this window because I didn't background that server in dev mode run that I did. So we come over here and we do a ss-ntulp, if I could type, and we look for the open port for that system. I do not see that up yet, so I do not think it is listening yet. Oh, it says it is listening. Okay, that's the last thing it said there. Let's go here. We do see 8080 from everybody. That was actually an important thing I needed, because the other thing I need to do is IP-BR ADDR, because I don't know his IP, and he's 192.168.200.68. So I should be able to come up here and go and connect to that instance. It says that he's listening to anybody. Oh, hold on. There's one other thing. For now, systemctl firewall stop firewall D for now, and then boom. There we go. There's our KeyCloak, and it says create a temporary administrative user, open localhost or bootstrap admin command. Okay, so I got to find this bootstrap admin command to create a temporary, because apparently you can only connect and build it the first time. So that's fine. Let's go find this KeyCloak admin command. So server admin guide. Let's go figure out, because if we're root on the server, we should be able to. If we need an administrator account, here we go. All right, if we need to export one, here's how we would start it. So let's come back over here, and we'll stop the server for now. We're going to export these two values, right? The KC admin username, and we'll go ahead. Oops. Bootstrap admin username is gonna be equal to, and we'll leave that as admin, right? And then the Bootstrap admin password will be admin for the start as well. So now we're gonna start that, and we're gonna background it, right? So see here, it says that we can start the system, and then it's SH or BAT depending on if you're on a Linux box or Windows box. All right, so we'll start that up again. Process is backgrounded. I can say jobs FG1 if I want to watch it, right, and it'll foreground that job. But over here, I should be able to ss-ntulp and see when 8080 opens up. So we could just watch ss-ntulp here, and we're just waiting. Oh, there's our 8080. It's back up. So that's fine. Now over here, right, here, I should be able to redo this. And because it's been, maybe that didn't, do it. Well, it's probably because we started in dev. Let's not start it in dev then. There we go. We killed it. All right, so we'll just start it. We won't start him in dev. So now he's just backgrounded. Yeah, FG1 will bring it back to the foreground. Yeah, so you're automatically backgrounding jobs if you use an ampersand. And let's watch it real quick again to see when our 8080 shows up. It's not there yet, right? So we got to wait for it for a minute, which is fine. Go back over here. It looks like it's starting up. Over here, we will see 8080 show up right about here when this actually works. So let's sit here for a minute and give it some time. Drink a little bit of water. I'm a little... Oh, hold on. Oh, they want us to... Well, I guess I gotta start it in dev. But... admin. Username equals admin. KC Bootstrap admin. Username. Got it. Password is the full word, admin. Okay. Start it again. No Hup would be fine, Amber, if I wanted this to keep running outside of this shell. Sure. Yeah. No Hup would eventually be needed for like further dev stuff, but for right now, this is fine. No Hup would be if I was, going to disconnect and reconnect into it. And then what I would do if I was really ready to start it as a daemon, I would run it as I would have systemd started, right? How's it going, Robodom? We're just building some Keycloak here. And I'm looking for it over here. It is not starting yet. So let's see. And then when it was starting, we were not getting the connection that we needed. We were not getting the... There's 8080 open. So we should be able to come over here. 8080. Local access. Ah, damn. Bootstrap admin. Well, I need... I could just... Okay. There we go. So this command will do. So come over here, stop him, and then come over here, make sure he's... We're going to go here and we'll just go ahead and run this command, and we'll say secret and temp admin is fine. Bootstrap is sh. And I'm going to need this command. Also, I don't care that it's taken over this terminal. Okay. We'll wait for that to come back up. I'll go over here to my notes. I told you guys I love grabbing stuff out and putting it in my notes. Okay. Server's back up. I can see it right there. That's it. So, come over here, refresh this. I'm just going to go back in on a new one. So we could pass them in. All right, well. Yeah, should be done. All right. Enter username for temp admin. Admin. Okay. Maybe that'll do it. If that does it, don't care about all this crap. Just try this without any of that. And just ampersand that. To the old background. Alright, let that start. Give it another shot. Okay. Where's our 8080? Should be starting right here. How's it going, Hayes? Hi, Sobu. There is not a lab for killer for key cloak yet. No. Once I get this figured out in the home lab, then maybe I'll make one. That might be a kind of fun little product. There's 8080. All right, should be up. Come on, buddy. All right, here we go. Admin console. Boom, boom. Admin. Very secure. Very secret. Very secure. Don't. Okay. That says secured permanent account. Delete temporary one. Okay. So I've got the stuff that I need here for this, right? Which means that then I'm going to pull my working stuff over here now, right? So now we're in our... so it says that I should create a permanent account and delete the temporary one. So manage account maybe. That's fine. That's fine for now. All right. So it says that we're in and create the first admin. Okay, so we're done with this one and we're done with that one. So now we're back here to create an admin user, logged in. Now we got to create a realm. So it says open it, go to Keycloak and admin console, Keycloak next to master realm, and click create realm. So we got to find a create realm button. Create realm right there. Boom. And it says that we could do that, or we could just give a realm name, it looks like, and we could just call it ProLUG. I like to keep things lowercase because I'm a Unix and Linux guy. That's something we normally do, is we keep things in lowercase. How's it going, Chris and Hayes and Amber? Yep, sorry. I'm just kind of focused over here, so I'm not trying to be a jerk to you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I am... I mean, I just don't want to bring my little green screen up, but I could be sitting here on camera. Chris, no. So what I'm doing, I do need to make that. I do need to eventually get to that level, but no, this is for, let me show you guys what this is for, because yeah, that is a good question. What is this? What is Scott doing? In our ProLUG stuff, right? So go to our documents, go to our little Linux group, right? And here in the security engineering course, in the syllabus for the course, let me pull this up. And just let me show you guys what we're doing this week in the course. So the course has been building standards. It's been mostly compliance. So most of the guys that have been doing the course with me and showing up are probably like, man, is this guy ever going to get off all this, you know, just stigging a box and compliance stuff, right? And yeah, we are, but a lot of the things we do still follow that model. Our next one, though, is user access and system integration. So what I'm going to do in this one is integrate Linux with identity and access management frameworks. So we're going to use LDAP. Yeah, we're going to use LDAP. So for that, I need to, yeah. So this one's going to be user access and system integration next week. And yeah, for that, I know I've said that like 7 times now, but I need to get this built out in the lab so that people can connect to it. That's going to be, so short answer, not just yet. Longer answer, yeah, I need to get my ass in gear and set that up. You know, we've had a lot of stuff going, a lot of people doing a lot of stuff that's really good for, you know, the group and for the junior people to get. Man, we have like 10 things going on right now. Like I can show you guys right now. This is like, I tell you guys all the time, the best thing about our group is that it's not all about me. Like I'm not running the security engineering study group. I'm not running this. I am running the admin and the engineering course, but the guys are writing the books for that. That's all that stuff, right? And then the writer's room, and then Bash. So getting the writer's room, that's Treasure running that, and then the Bash study group that just got started, that's Colchis running that. There's all kinds of stuff going on, right? And then we've got these days, which these days I kick off the events, and then all day it's just different people talking. It's an hour and a half sessions where you can ask questions and stuff, and then like a 30-minute break, pretty much the whole day. And the guys who are finishing off each day, I'm gonna just kind of have them stay as long as they want. I'm just gonna get the people that like to talk. Actually, the person speaking on the last day, King Buns, I know he'll talk all night if you let him. So that's awesome, right? That's one of the best things about the guy is he'll sit there, and he's a lead software engineer. He's been doing it a long time. He's really good. So if he's talking, I think people should be listening. So, anyways, that's where we're at over there. So let's do this. Let's go to create. Click user. All right. So it says then verify that you are still in my realm, which is shown above. All right. So create realm and click create. So we did that. Now we're going to create a user. That says welcome to ProLUG. Good. Yeah. He's real good. Yeah. Well, he likes talking though. He likes doing his stuff. So he's also a rock climber. So for you guys that like rock climbing and outdoorsy stuff, he's definitely one of the good ones for that. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll create a user. So over here on the left, it says to verify that you're still in the realm. Click users in the left-hand menu. Boom. Create a new user, and all these things that he can do. We'll say username is we'll call him test user. I'm more of a test user guy. And then first name is test, and last name is user. Right, there we go. And then we'll click create for him. So now he exists. And then there's groups, and there's all these other things that we can set up. And then it says that this user needs a password to log in, so set initial password. So we're going to come down here, and I think if we hit save, click credentials. Oh, credentials. Set a password, and we'll just call him test 1 2 3 4. Test 1 2 3 4, and just so you guys don't think I'm lying, it is test 1 2 3 4. And then yeah, we'll make him test 1 2 3 4. All right, so he's a user. He's got a password, and he's on the system with a role mapping. And says now you can log into the account console to verify the user is configured correctly. So log in with my user and password. Okay, so now what's the account console? Okay, so it'll be the 8080 again. So I'm going to go in here again. 192.168.268. And now this one, we'll go ahead and we'll log out of me. Sign out of this. And we'll log in as test user and test 1 2 3 4. I almost need you guys to remember that password for me. What? Didn't I just do test 1, 2, 3, 4? Is that a different? Hold on. Whoops. Is the account console Realms my? Oh, Realms my Realm account. So this will be Realms. Yeah, there. That's way too much info. ProLUG. There we go. Now in ProLUG, they're coming in as admin. Test user and then test 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, they need to change their password. New password is test 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to see how smart this thing is. I'm not messing with you guys. It is test 1, 2, 3, 4, and it says okay. So they would have to put in this information, and we'll just say test at prolug.org or whatever. I don't know. That can be their email. And then here's their basic information. All right. And then we can start securing applications with them. Okay. I don't need to necessarily do that kind of stuff right now. That's not that big of a deal. Let me come back over here and let me see if what kind of whoops. Oh, so I had logged out, which is funny. Admin. And then what did I do here? Admin. Hope that's right still. All right. So here's so I had come over here and I had clicked authentication. So we have browser, clients, direct grant, Docker auth, first broker, registration, and reset credentials. Okay. Interesting. All kinds of stuff going on in here. User federation. I'm going to probably have to add an LDAP to this so that in the lab the devices can connect. So what I'm going to do is there's two parts to this. One is getting this part set up, and that's the part that I'm doing. And I may even show it a little bit, but in the lab section, the guys will be connecting into these Hammer servers and connecting over and validating that they can get into LDAP. Right, I'll give an account for them to be able to connect in with like SSSD and make sure that they can authorize as a user, right? Because it's very important, man. It's very important. Like, what is Linux? There's two options, right? I can manage every user locally, and that's a nightmare because I don't want to even know the users' names. Or I can federate, I can have a trust authentication process, like a trust, into Active Directory and let the company do all that stuff. And then I can just be the guy that builds and plays with Linux all day, and my Linux plays well with the company plays well with making people, and those people that are supposed to can get into my servers. That's a much better model, guys. Unless you want to do identity and access management, I promise you don't want to do identity and access management. So unless that's your calling, like you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh shit, I can't wait to just go through everybody's accesses all day and look at spreadsheets of just fucking everybody's accesses and never audit it. Well, they should audit it every 6 months or so, but they don't. And then it's like that. If you don't want to do that, I can guarantee you want to stay out of that business, right? So as Linux admins, we build this so people can we don't want to deal with it. All right, so let's come over here. Let's go to their docs. We got this first part set up. Let's go to their docs and see if we can find probably in server administration. That might be in here. Let's see if we find LDAP. You can also delegate. So this may be one of the things I do is I might get ours set up in such a way that I can just delegate out authentication to Google, and then when you guys come in as whoever you are, you can just do whatever. 258 count. That's pretty low. Oh, well, I don't know. So 258 is a weird, that can be a big number if it's like number of people attacking you. It's a really low number if it's like a thread count on sheets. So I don't know what the 258 is. I don't know. Oh. I was like, what is the context of this 250? I didn't see it up there. That's funny. All right, let's see if we can find this. Okay, use external storage. Keycloak. The Keycloak supports LDAP and Active Directory, but you can also code extensions for any custom user database by using. So I could use a custom database if I want. And by the way, this was something I had thought to do before. But once I get Keycloak up and running, if I decide to make a production instance out of probably not this one, but a new one, if I made a production instance come up, obviously we're just doing this on one of the hammer nodes, right? Or this was just one of the Rocky boxes we're messing with. If I go make this a correct image, if we do LDAP, I can tie that in with my Apache Guacamole, which I haven't talked about that in a while, but you guys do know that we have like Apache Guacamole, right? And you guys can get in through this and actually connect into the system as well. I think this one's mine. And then, like, you can get in. I don't have it set up right now, but well, not set up all the way, anyways. But where's my home at? I feel like this is not everything. I did turn off a lot of boxes, though. Anyways, that's a way to connect from the outside. All right, that's not a big deal, but I can tie that in as well. So, all right, it says adding provider. To add storage provider, perform the following procedure. Click federation. Yep, and then LDAP, dealing with provider failures. Do we want to configure LDAP provider and store it local or edit or writable or unsynced? Excuse me. I may have to set up a separate LDAP server for this and then just have Keycloak be the front end. That wouldn't be that's not too much. That's not too much work. Okay. All right. But that's kind of that. That's kind of like part of my process there and what I tend to do. I grab this documentation for my notes too. So yeah, we went in, we got Keycloak. Main parts where we got the Keycloak. We ran it. We had to create a user for it, right? But before this even, hold on, there's a step that I've missed. There's something I didn't grab. I did a DNF install of that. Doesn't matter where you put the -y. But DNF install -y Java 21. We needed that. Okay. And again, you guys know with these Rocky boxes, when I reboot the box, it's just going to go back to clean anyways. So that's fine. All right. I'm good with this for now then. You do role mappers. Let's see. Password hashing. Figuring the connection pool. All right, so SSSD is what I'm going to be having the guys set up. So this is definitely what we're going to want to do on the server side. Rel IDM could be the way that we do it. Let's just see. LDAP. We don't want Okta. We want actual open LDAP. Turnkey Linux. Oh, we need a project. Let's see what they got here. Get out of here. Let's go look at the LDAP setup. Okay, we need this. Need those packages. Okay. Slap test. Sure, the guys will love that. Might need this in the notes. So we may see, yeah, I thought slap test was funny too. We may see some open LDAP. We may see some key cloak depending on what I end on when this is all done. Slap password. Be a lot of slapping and tickling. There's a old man. There's a movie that like I don't think anybody watched that was like on Netflix with Mark Wahlberg, and I don't remember the context of it, but like he had spent like 9 years in prison, and he gets out and he doesn't even go and hang out with his wife. He goes and hangs out with his buddies at his like boxing gym. And she comes in and she's like yelling and she's like, "Where is he? Where is he?" Bunch of gorillas in here slapping and tickling each other. And me and the wife always say that to each other. I tell her I'm gonna go do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and she's like, "Yeah, you and the guys in there slapping and tickling each other." I'm like, "Yeah, that is actually what happens in there, surprisingly." All right. We might play with some of this. We're not going to use, well, we have SE, the SE set. So these, any SE bool commands assume you're using SE Linux, but we might not necessarily do that. So we can run, because here's the thing, for this course, what I thought about doing, and I may even make this part of it for the guys where I want them to understand the running the LDAP side of it, because you may have to run LDAP. So we may do some of this stuff. And then also, not just this, but also being able to connect into it. So this may be some of the stuff that shows up in the lab type portion of the course, doing slap D and all that good stuff, making up some user information and all that stuff. So we'll play with that. We'll see how all that goes. Let me get out of there, go back over here. All right. What else do we have? All right, so we got our key cloak up. I think that part of it was pretty straightforward, making users, identity providers. You know, do we want to eventually let people just come in with a Google account? You know, because typically you can go and then you get like a command. You get all your information from Google, and then you can use Google information to connect. So, yep, just some kind of federated authority. All right, so yeah, that was a fun little run through, just kind of messing with it a little bit. We're not too concerned with getting that up tonight, but I do have to get everything up, obviously, by Saturday. I have to get the labs all done. Also, for Saturday, for the course this week, the wife is out of town Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. So Thursday and Friday night, you guys might see me on a little bit more. And I might just, because when she goes out of town, I just kind of hang out on my computer. So Although Friday night I might go wrestle, but for the most part, I will be around. If we need anything, if anybody's working on the labs or anything, that kind of stuff. So, what else do we got? Anybody doing anything fun? Yeah. Well, we will be out slapping and tickling each other. Yeah, I'd show that scene, but whenever you show a scene like that, like if you find it and you show it, then it's like then like YouTube cuts that part of your video out. But it's hell's that? It's Mark Wahlberg. Netflix movie. It's called Spencer Confidential. And she said, you guys are always in here slapping and tickling each other. Hold on. I just remember the context of the movie was absolutely insane. It was not a very good movie. Yeah, it was not a great movie. Not by any stretch of the imagination, but that one part was really funny. Yeah, she said you're just a bunch of gorillas in here slapping and tickling each other. So, all right, let me pull up. What else are we doing then? All right. So I was gonna prep the course a little bit, but now I don't really want to. But I mean, we at least started that stuff, so that's pretty good. We got Ranger walking around downstairs like he owns the place. He's so confused, man. Like, I know people have said that dogs can get dementia, but I do really worry about him. Like, I think he's just standing there, like just kind of, just like, almost like he's anxious. I don't know. An old dog. Yeah, he's just an old dog now. He's just thinking about all the stuff he's guarded over the years. He's like, never did I let anybody get by me. And it's true, he didn't. He never let anybody get by him. But I think he's also like shedding a little bit. Like, I think that's one of his like little tufts of hair down there on his black. He's got a black carpet down there. All right, we're gonna officially creep on Ranger for a little bit. Yeah, there you go, Ranger. Get nice and comfy on your double bed. All right, he's good. So, yeah. Ranger's a big fan of just laying around. He goes out quite a bit. He's got a big door that he can go out. That's I've told you guys, like, if you kind of know what a duck walk is, it's like it's an old military thing, but I think they make kids do it in grade school too. But like a duck walk is like you get down real low and kind of like sit on your ankles and then walk. If you were like the average adult human could duck walk through his doggy door. That's how big his doggy door is. He's got the biggest dog door I've ever seen for a normal animal, for like a normal dog. I've never seen a bigger one that wasn't for like something else. It was here when we bought the house, but it's huge. He loves it. And he, like most people could probably like squat down and walk through it, is my point. It's that big. So he's not a small dog himself, but like he's not nearly as big as he was. I think he was only 94 pounds the last time he went in, but at one point he was about 120. So yeah, he's good. We used to have to let him out at the old house. But now, actually, fun fact. So my younger brother lives at my old house now, right? Like, we kept it and we just have him staying there. And he went out back last night. And he's got a dog that's like about as big as my microphone, which is not very big. His dog is really tiny and it's black. And he was out back and his dog went out to like pee out from under the porch and an owl swooped down to try to grab his dog. And I was like, Tommy, that's not normal, man. I don't think an owl's supposed to try to eat your dog. But his dog is probably about owl snack sized. So no, Robodom, that's his. No, that's not a not a blanket. That's just his. So he has that, that's a rug. That's like a big. If I had to guess, that's a 10 by 9 rug, I think, or 10 by a little over 10 by a little by over 9 maybe. Rug. It's a pretty good sized rug. Yeah, yeah. My brother's dog is not. I mean, I could show you guys a picture of my brother's dog. Hold on. Hold on. Because we have all our dogs up in all of our animals and pets our family. Where's that? Pets our family. Yeah, yeah. We got all kinds of animals in here. That's Ranger. So here's his other rug, and that's that rug. But hold on, there's Phoebe. That's Sending Ground's dog. That's Ranger. That's I think King Bun's dog. Yeah. And then that's Ranger's dog that's Ranger's bed without his stuff. Hold on. I know my brother Tommy has his dog up here. Hold on. Megabyte. That was Ranger. Whenever it rains, Ranger gets like mud on his face. It's kind of funny. This was the bed I thought I was buying for him, but it was not nearly as big. All right, hold on. Ranger. I know Tommy has pictures of his dog here. That is one of them, but you really can't see how small she is. Hold on. He's got it like a silly one here. Hold on. There's a lot of Ranger. This was when we were out of town and he was staying at Tommy's house. That's the old house. But one of the guys tried to make a pet out of a praying mantis. Dogs are so funny. That's not it. Where the heck's this animal at? That's his dog, and you can barely see it. But as you can see, it's not even as wide as like a human couch cushion. So yeah, Ranger's a good dog. But that's my brother Tommy's dog. He's also got a funny picture. Hold on, where's that funny picture? I know it's right up here of him and the dog. Somebody turned this into Ranger. I think that was Fisherman that did that. He was in his AI arc, so it was like the Ranger throne. That's a little AI that he was doing. A lot of the guys were getting involved with AI for a while there. Phoebe out in a battlefield. Ranger. That's how Ranger used to sleep a lot. He used to cross his paws like that. I don't know. I probably like Ranger more than you guys do, but I think he's a good dog. He's cute. Cats. You can have cats too. That's Ranger at Tom's house, so that's Tommy's little dog there. Ranger took I think the dog's name is Bella. Ranger laid on Bella's bed, so that's kind of funny. Where I know Tom. Yeah, there it is. That's how small his little dog is. That's my brother Tom. That's little Bella. She's tiny. She's a tiny little. I bet she's not even like 12 pounds if I had to guess. Knowing what I know about dogs. There's Phoebe again. And we have Phoebe with. I'm not gonna go that far back. But we got some good Phoebe. What's Ranger thinking right here? What's this human doing? Biryani's dog has the best. I'm not going to go all the way back for Biryani's dog. You guys can do it if you want. His dog has a kennel that is literally full of toys. It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Oh, Ranger was just up a few minutes ago, Q. Oh, Ranger was just literally standing up a few seconds ago. Some of you guys saw it, right? Somebody in chat tell Q that I definitely just had Ranger stand. I didn't have him standing up. He was definitely just standing up a minute ago, but he's all on shaky legs. Yeah, Amber over on YouTube said she seen it. So yeah. But yeah, Ranger's an all in all a pretty good dog. All right, so guys, there's the Linux sysadmin course. There's a security engineering course. There's a lot of stuff going on in Discord. Ranger was making a big think. Yeah. He was, but now he is retired and he's going to go back to his 23.5 hours a day of napping, which I envy him in some ways. He's a good dog, but man, does he like to lay around. So, yeah. And then for people that got here a little later, all I was doing was just, oh yeah, Coffee. I keep forgetting that you're Killa and you changed your name, but yeah, we had, it was 83 out here today, Coffee. I know you know that because you live out here, but it was 83 here in Phoenix. That is not nice. And that's Fahrenheit, by the way, but that's not That's not nice weather for. We wish it was still like it was so nice over the weekend. It was down in the 60s, and I think it barely touched 70 on like the middle of one of the days. But then no, man, it's 83 today. Yeah, coffee. I saw that it was supposed to be getting up in the. I thought it was supposed to hit 102 coming up. Oh, Jones, you got the flooding, man. That's like Ohio and Mississippi Valley. I know that because while I work for NOAA, and I know where all the critical weather days are. But we're trying to flip over some of the operations and stuff and do some work on some stuff, so we can't do that during critical weather days. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I heard between Ohio and like Missouri type in the valleys there, that some parts of the country there were getting 13 inches of rain over the course of 48 hours. And I don't know if any of you guys have dealt with like rainfall or looked at rainfall in your lifetime, but 13 inches in like in 48 hours, there's nowhere for the water to go. There's literally, I mean, it's just like wringing out a sponge over a plate. Like it's gonna go over the sides. There's nowhere for it to go. It's a lot of water, Robodon. Like it's a whole lot of water. Like Phoenix floods if we get an inch in an hour. We only average about 7 inches a year, 7.5, I think, per year. Phoenix, in the Phoenix area, we do not get that much. But if we get an inch in an hour, then we flood. And like it can. I've seen the I-10. I've seen the I-10 where people had to get out of their cars. That was only probably about 5-6 years ago. People had to get out of their cars because it was flooded up over the top of some of the smaller sedans. Yeah, so was that almost 5 feet, 4.5 feet? But it's just because it has nowhere to go. I like to call it a cow piss. I learned this from an army buddy. It's like a cow pissing on a flat rock. Okay, a cow urinating on a flat rock. Oh, there you go. My thing wouldn't say PISSING. That's funny. Oh, you dropped a link to some photos in the off topics chat. I don't mind pulling stuff up. I mean, we can have a little bit of story time. Is this gonna log in? Oh, geez, that looks brutal. That looks real brutal. Yeah, that looked deep. Coffee, I had to do a background check today for my job. I have never had to do so much. Oh, coffee. You're not working government, are you? DMV records in the last 7 years of addresses. Yeah. If you ever look up coffee, if you want to really see one that sucks, look up SF85 or SF86 form. 85 is for like most of the like government stuff that I've done in the last 15 years. But back when I worked top secret stuff, that's an SF86 form. That's one of the worst things I've ever done in my life, man. It's the last 10 years. You can't have any gaps. If you got any gaps, you got to be able to answer for them because they have to go and talk to your neighbors at every place you've lived for the last 10 years. So, yeah, Jones. Yeah, that's what's going to keep us from betting on the Bengals, not previous performance. Didn't they have a good season though in the last few? I haven't really watched a lot of football. My brother Tommy, when he comes to talk to you guys, he always like uses football stats and stuff because he still keeps up on it all. But I just don't. I don't keep up anymore. Oh, they made it to Super. Yeah. I was gonna say I thought they did well. I have not. I haven't watched literally a snap of football probably in the last 3 years, and I probably only watched about 3 whole games in the last 7 or 8. I just haven't had time, man. I'm busy and like it's not as big a priority for me like it used to. Like if I'm at a buddy's house on a Sunday and they're watching it, I'll it's not like I'm going out of my way to avoid it. It's just I'm always doing stuff. So. Chris M, you've moved like 4 times in 10 years. Don't think SF86. You can get away with. I mean, like when I did mine, I was 28, so I had been in the army. So I got in the army, or I got out of the army at 22. So then They had to go and talk to people that had been in my units. They had to do a whole bunch of stuff, man. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, coffee. If you moved around a lot from the military, yeah, because they were asking me like, "Well, where were you during this time?" And I was like, "I was in the country of Iraq, like I was there for the convenience of the U.S. Army. Like that wasn't my choice. I didn't send myself over there." Amber, no, Keycloak is just it is just a centralized like authentication suite and tool. Guacamole is a little different. Guacamole is a forwarder. I don't. When I showed it a little while ago, Amber, the Apache Guacamole, I didn't have it set up anymore right now, but I used to be able to give people access through that, and you would drop into a shell just like Killer Coda. You would come in like here. You know how we do Killer Coda, and you guys just can come in and like go right into a sandbox, and you can just be like, oh, I want an Ubuntu 2404 environment, and you could just drop down. Yeah, Chris, they definitely check your credit for clearances, 100%. 100% they do that. They want to make sure if you have any bankruptcies or foreclosures or anything. So this is almost what a little Apache Guacamole looks like. You can just connect right to a server like this. You can also forward X11 over it, and you could do protocols like what the hell's the name of that protocol that people connect? VNC. You can VNC over it too, which the VNC connection is only to the Apache Guacamole, and then the Apache Guacamole is secured over HTML or HTTP, so it's at least a protected session, you know. So that's kind of cool. That works. That works well. So. I think part of it is just government systems, like, well, not just government systems, but like security in general. They've got all these rules. Hold on, I can pull it up if I got my little Sumatra viewer up. So look, this is the Security Plus, right? This is for the Security Plus right here. And if I were to scroll down and say separation, duties. Where is? All right, well, I'm just gonna have to look for it because I can't find it. It's backup window test, but no, none of these, none of those, none of those. Well, they do want to make sure that you are not in a compromised position for these things right here. But that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is a different concept. And it's nope. Nope. I know it's in here. If it's not in here, it's definitely in Security Plus. Oh, this is Security Plus. Sorry, then it's definitely in CISSP. Vulnerabilities. So it's part of. I don't see it. Should do it does it deals with people. Where is it at? Security operations is gonna deal with people here. Hold on. I just want to find it so that I can. Nope. Kind of in. It's in risk, but with users. Nope, 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 nope. Anyways, what it ends up being. Hold on, I just can't find it. I don't know how they categorize it, but um, it deals with separation of duties and forced, what we call separation of duty, and then forced vacations and forced rotations of jobs, so that people can't just stay in a job for too long. And what I'm going to tell you is that just it was written in a standard sometime long ago, and because it exists in that standard from some time long ago, it's a government thing now. So when you're saying about, like, why be so strict in the intentions, but does it really tell them anything? It just tells them that um, they think their idea is, like, if you're compromised in one thing, you could be compromised in many things. It's very hard to get a security clearance if you have a bad financial background, and that's just one of these things for, like, a government. That's as a security course helping people study for the sec. Robodom, I'm using a lot of the terminology out of here. Like, what I told the guys was, I don't have the security course directly tied in to this, right? Like I'm not doing this for 10 weeks at all. We're doing Linux, right? But I am standardizing what I'm saying to their terminology, yes. So while Robodom, I wouldn't tell people, hey, come to this course for 10 weeks to learn about Security Plus. If they were studying for Security Plus already and were also wanting to learn Linux security, I'm keeping it same to same, if that makes sense. We're talking zero trust, and then we're talking, physical security and these kind of things. But I'm not making them learn these terms, no. In fact, the only reason I had these open is because we were using some of these. I'm just trying to keep things exactly like what we sometimes work on. And then, I get ideas out of there, and I think, oh, that would be a good concept to show people, or that would be a good discussion question for the week or whatever. Yeah, coffee. Hopefully when you get done, they'll give you, like, a version of it that can then be fed in if you got to do it again. Yeah, and that's the worst thing too. Coffee is, like, the exact days and stuff like that. um I try to be general, as general as possible, and then sometimes they'll have a thing that says, like, I don't know the exact dates. And then when they're done with their, here's the thing too, coffee, that they don't always tell you this, but whenever you have a background check, I'm pretty sure this is federal regulation. I know it is if you do a government background check. I can't speak for whatever your company is doing, but I can tell you this for sure. If you ever have a federal background check done on you, you are always allowed to ask for a copy, and they have to provide you with a copy of what they found. Because here's the thing, I mean, if you can't ever see a copy, what if they deny you and you're like, well, what the hell? And then they have you as, like, living in Mogadishu for 8 years, and you're like, I never fucking even been to Mogadishu. What the hell are you talking about? Right? And then now you've got to, now you've, at least you're always allowed to defend yourself. And actually, with security clearances with the government, you are allowed to challenge if you're not accepted, and then you get to go in and say, no, I actually am, I never was there, or that's a different Scott, that kind of thing. I have a pretty unique name, so, there's not too many of me. But I can tell you, like, my full name is Scott Thomas, right? That's my first and my middle name. You guys know my last name if you know me, but I can tell you that sometimes on some documents, people put Thomas first. So I get called all the time by people thinking my name is Thomas. I have a brother named Tom, but that's not who they're calling for. They're calling for me. So it's weird, you don't want people to have you as different stuff like that. Those are different kids or something. Yeah. These are not the bots you were looking for or whatever. So yeah, what else? We trying to think here. We did a pretty good amount of setup. I'm really just on to let you guys know. Where'd Ranger go? We're gonna creep on Ranger for a little bit. Because if Q is still around, he'll get to see Ranger stand up. Yep. The bot always thinks that my name is pronounced wrong. Again, bunch of events coming up. Feel free to check those. If you use the mobile app, it's on the top right. On the normal system, it's on the top left, but on the app, it's on the top right. And then, look, people are down here working right now. In fact, King Buns is right there right now. You guys should be down there working on that kind of stuff. You should be listening to him, not me. But he's down there doing stuff. That's my lab setup, or that's my home setup. That's my system, and then my wife's system back there. She took over part of my office. She wanted to hang out in my office with me, so That's her desk that I put together the other day for her. And then those are my, I think my monitors are 35s. Got a couple of 35s going, so it's pretty good. It's pretty okay. All right. Then the bot always welcomes you guys when you come in and hang out. Some of you guys know that. Yeah, it's different spot on the mobile. Hold on, let me see if we're gonna see if Ranger comes back. We'll keep an eye out for Ranger Dog. See what he's up to. And I gotta get I also gotta go get my ID card from the government. They've been making it the hardest thing for me to get. All right. Make sure I'm not missing anything over here. All right. I'm just waiting. I just heard Ranger come back in, so I know Ranger's going to be moving. I just heard him come in through his doggy door downstairs. It's kind of loud. It kind of clanks a little bit because it's so big. There's two magnetic parts to it because it's like a double door. So kind of like a freezer door. You open one and then you move in about 6 inches and then you open the other one. So he like pushes them both open. That's how he gets all the mud on his head during rain. What's he doing? Normally he's either outside or in his beds. Where is this Ranger at? Excuse me. Yeah, it is only Monday coffee. Yep. Oh, I see his shadow. I know he's out there. I know he's over there. I'm pretty sure I see his shadow. Maybe I'm losing my mind. I'm probably losing my mind. So Miss Sapphire, the answer to that looks kind of like this. So Grafana doesn't run. No, Grafana is not SNMP based. What Grafana does is it just visualizes a bunch of data, and it can connect to a bunch of different data sources. So here's my Grafana over here in my presentation layer, and then this is how I do monitoring myself in my home lab. And then when people in systems ask me to, yeah, it's really just the endpoint. It doesn't even store the data ever. It just gets it and presents it. You've got a mid-tier, so like a mid-tier storage area, and I use time series databases of Influx and Prometheus. And then I have this isn't truly a time series database, it's just, it's an API that does logging. It is kind of a time series database, but on just logging events that get thrown at it. And then this is how I push data over. Telegraph as an agent on some server, Promptail agent to push logs, and then Node Exporter pushes up the metrics, and they get scraped every 10 seconds by Prometheus. So this is the architecture in my home lab. There's 3 labs on Killer Coda that show you how to build each one of these. If you want them, I can link them to you. Hold on. Just want to make sure if Ranger comes back. All right. So if you go to Killer Coda, I'll just link you the first one, and then you can find the other ones. But you go to right here. These are the labs that I've written, or most of all these are mine. And so it's Loki and Promptail first, and then it just keeps building up from there. So I'll link this to you. Doc, you haven't had any ads over on YouTube? Yeah, I don't think ads show up live on YouTube, do they? Maybe they do. But yeah, we've got this is the Loki portion. So Promtail to Loki to Grafana, and then Grafana with Prometheus and Node Exporter, and then Grafana with Telegraph and Influx DB, which is a little bit, I wouldn't say it's just a little more challenging to get that one to work because of the differences. Prometheus is native with Grafana, and and Node Exporter is part of it. So these are pretty easy to set up and get working. And then Promtail and Loki are also part of the Grafana stack. But this one is separate, and it works. It just takes a little more work. So yeah. Yeah, but Miss Sapphire, hopefully that gets you started. And then if you have any questions about it, or you get stuck anywhere, let me know. Me or a few of the other guys, they actually did it as their project. Hold on, I gotta fix this. This is busted. A few of them did it as their projects in the system. So the reason I bring that up is because then that makes it they have some experience with it. So if you have questions, just ask it on Discord if you have any questions about Grafana, and there's a few of us that are pretty familiar with it and can help you out. But yeah, there's a good amount of labs down in there. Excuse me. So let me put it back on Ranger Cam real quick, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna stop that. I'll leave it on Ranger Cam, and I'm gonna say Hourglass, and we'll say take a break. Break and walk around a bit. I'll probably get some water too. Break will be 10 minutes, and then I will leave this spinning for you guys. But if you have any questions on anything, let me know. Me or Robodom. We both know what's going on. Wait, what was the question there? Promtail pushes into Loki. Yeah. Oh, one of the other guys. Actually, I can tell you. Yeah, I've got a logging stack that would work for that. Let me tell you when I get back, Coffee. Because I could send it to Loki. Yep. I actually know how to do that. Well, it's pretty easy. So. All right, I'm gonna take a little walk, stretch my legs a little bit, grab some waters. Robodom's in charge till I get back. So you guys respect his authority. Is it gonna say authority? I said authority, like Cartman. I'm walking around hoping you guys are in there behaving yourselves. Check here. Make sure you guys are behaving yourselves in here. Oh, Coffee, thanks for the Prime sub. Yeah, you can use that anywhere. Chose to use it here. That's always nice. Let me put more water in my fridge up here. I always tell people that's how you know you've arrived, when you've got a fridge in your office. It's not a very good fridge, but it works. It cools the water. That's all it's required to do. Just doesn't do it great. Alright, still walking around for a minute, stretching my legs out a little bit. Then I'll be back around. Alright. I'm back. But still on break. Take a break if you guys need it. I'm just kind of poking around the system here. Yeah, Doc, I haven't been doing so many late streams because I've been conking out by like 9:30 most days. It's like, man, I'm just not interested in doing the late night. Like me and the wife, we're typically like, she'll be back a little bit from her. We had dinner together, and then she went to her book club, and then she'll be back, and we'll hang out for a little bit, and then, man, just go to sleep because it's 4:20. Get up, go to the gym. That's when I get up to get ready for the gym. So. Yep. Speed across town where nobody's there. And hopefully I don't get stuck at the damn 101, which is like the worst fucking road ever. Well, if the lights get you, it's terrible. So, it's not too bad. Yeah, Robodom, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a good time for wrestling. We had 14 people in there this morning, so that's a pretty good sized group for 5 a.m. But it was like tomorrow will probably be closer to 30 people, so we'll have a good amount of people in there. So it's good. It's like fun. It's like good culture. It's like a good all around. Colorman said, deploy Loki in the staging tomorrow. Anything to keep in mind. If you're doing it in dev, you can do it with no. I mean, I would just set it up and then run it. And the best advice I would give you is, if you've never done it before, I have a lab on it right here. This lab will show you how to do it. But that's mainly that's important, is to understand how the prom tail connects to it. But, by the way, actually, let me show you guys this, because I didn't show you guys this in the lab when we did it the other day. In this lab, when you're all done, I'm pretty sure I have something that's hidden here. Hold on. Not hidden to be mean or hidden on purpose. It's just I don't think I ever wrote up any more on it, but let me make sure it's there. So, in this lab, so we do all of our installs But then in answers, yep. There's a bunch of stuff that I didn't actually show you, or that isn't mentioned in the lab. It's just sitting here in answers. And it shows you how to write from just a service. So if you were, let's clear the screen. More Loki write.py. And it shows you how to write in there as if, like, if you were just running an application and you just wanted to send your own stuff over, you could do that right here. You would just need, really, as long as you have pi time zone, pi TZ, and then you need requests or, you know, whatever. JSON parsing is useful, and then date time. So I just import all those, and then it's super easy to send your information directly to Loki. But if you're going to put it in prod, you do want to do it with certificates. And I have not done that lab yet, but I do need to put that together to show you guys how to do it with certificates. Because honestly, certificates would be the best way to do it, and it would be the most secure. And also reading it from Grafana with certificates would be good too. Grafana. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. I've been kind of lazy. I've never used Zima boards, no. What are Zima boards? Took out the good old Arduino Uno and doing midlife crisis light show worth. Doc, I actually want to do some light shows on the front because the wife does a lot with her snowmen. She's got her little snowmen for Christmas, and she loves her 12-foot Christmas tree that I bought her a couple years ago, which is 12-foot Christmas tree is it is arduously, I mean, it's huge, right? Like it is a big tree. Anyways, and then it sits in the front room of our house, and then we open the blinds so that they can see, you know, basically that we got one of the bigger Christmas trees or something. I think that's what the wife wants. But anyways, I do want to kind of do a little light display in the front because, you know, that's kind of like Doc, if you know, that's my background isn't electrical engineering, but it is telecom and network engineering. And I did a lot of that electrical stuff in college. I mean, I went to DeVry, so it was a lot of electrical stuff anyways. The only reason I'm not an electrical engineer, I think, is because I'm colorblind. And I know some of the guys were like, well, you can get around a lot of that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but it was just like being a doctor. I didn't want to get around it. Like, I want to just be able to do it, and I'm way too colorblind to do it. So, like, I can do simple stuff, right? Like light display stuff. And I would just run it with a Pi, but Arduinos will do it, you know, faster at the PLC level. So, yeah, cut the red wire. Yeah. I think I told you guys this before, but, like, Skiff doors have these green-red. Let me see if I can find one. They have these green-red doors like this, and it always sits. It's not like that. It's more like it slides open or closed, typically, kind of like that. And this one is not a good example of it because I can tell that green and that red. But I can tell you that there's some that are like this where they're always open. This isn't a good example. I was hoping they had some good examples of it, but that's probably the closest. Let me see. Skiff door. Let's see if there's any more. Nah, none of these. They're typically near the spin locks, but I don't see one. Anyways, the point is, when I used to walk up to them, I could watch the green and red flip, and like in my head, like I thought that the green was the red and the red was the green, because they were so close that I couldn't tell them apart, and it would like flip in my brain. It would almost feel like I almost felt like the lights were flipping. That's kind of funny. Yeah, but security isn't worried necessarily about. So. But anyways, yeah, this is how you would write to your own box with, if you were going to use, so I left some examples here for you guys to write, and then also, I don't have a read, but you can do the write over and over again, and it would give you, that input out to the system. So anyways, that's a thing right there. You guys can play with that if you want. I also probably Thursday and Friday night, because the wife will be gone, I'll probably just do I'll probably just start at Linux 1 and just do beginner. We'll call it beginner to expert Linux, like we did last year, and I'll just go through all the Linux labs, start to finish. Maybe I'll even have the book open too, and it'll just be like going through everything, answering questions. How much do we understand? What do we think works well? All that kind of stuff. So. This is what we do around here, guys. Do all the Linux. Keep all the systems up and running, monitor stuff. Try to have good sysadmin practices, although I'm kind of lazy in my home lab, you guys have found, but stuff works, so that's what matters. How did Ranger get back? Did you guys see Ranger walk back over there, or did I miss it earlier? Because he was up earlier, and now he's back on his bed. Did we see him Robodom while I was gone? I stepped away, and then Sigma Heavy Industries. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. We are hanging out. Sometimes I'm on stream, but tonight I'm just kind of hanging out because I'm a little tired. And we're doing all the Linux. I need to update some of these screens because some of these are getting a little old and need to be updated a little. Some of my Grafana monitoring. I also kind of want to get my monitoring a little more set up for the I don't get node exporter for these for all these hammer nodes and for all the Rocky nodes, so I need to get that data out of there too. So you got some Ritz and peanut butter. Nice. Yeah, I haven't had any like sugar, no additional sugar in like over a week now. And then I mean, you get a little bit in like lunch meat and stuff, but then I also haven't had any sugar from drinks or anything for like over a week. So that's kind of, yeah, me and the wife are eating a little better, so that's good. Gotta do that. Yeah, so we put Key Cloak. We'll build that out on 235. And then we got to think of other things to put in the environment. Oops. What was all this? Oh, this was Malbian Linux. That's one of the members of our community built Malbian Linux. So I always show you guys that because that's useful. Let me turn this off for a second. In the lab, we want Key Cloak up, and we might also just do regular old Open LDAP. Maybe that'll just be 236. There we go. So we'll have Key Cloak and Open LDAP, and then these will be able to, for you guys that are doing the class, you'll be able to connect over there for user auth. Right, for that lab, because there's going to be a lab on user auth stuff. But I may also have you guys set up Open LDAP on your own machines just to see the setup part of it as well. Oh yeah, I think I've had 3 monsters today, so I'm pretty done with monsters for the day. Just drinking water now. Can't drink as many monsters as I used to. That stuff's not good for you. Not good in that excess for sure. If you guys haven't been around for it, this is kind of what the home lab looks like for how we connect in from the internet. That's how you get in from the internet, how you come through and then connect to the different sets of servers that we have for the lab environments. That's what those all are. So if you guys never seen that, obviously people helped me draw this because they drew the little stick figures. I didn't do all that. But that is the lab network that we use to do all the systems, and then the little jailed users come in as Streamer 1 and MC Hammer. By the way, I got asked again this weekend, when are we doing jails? We will be doing the jailed and Bastion host configurations in week 4 of the security course. So if you do the security engineering course with us, that's when we're going to talk about it. I do have it up in my GitHub, right? I have how that works. If somebody was just like, well, how does that stream setup thing work? This is how I set up the Bastion. This is the process right here, and that's what I'll be walking the guys through and making them do next in 2 weeks. So, yeah, Doc, I'm here, but the wife's not missing anything because she's out at her book club. But when she gets back, I'll have to drop off. You guys lose me. The wife gets right of first refusal for time, right? We watched Hackers last night, guys. I gotta say something about an iconic 30-year-old movie that people love. That movie's bad, guys. There's a scene where he's got a disc and the guy gets out of his limo like half a block away and he rides his fucking skateboard to come take it from him. Me and the wife were laughing so hard at that. I was like, did that dude just get out of his thing, ride half a block holding onto the side of his car, steal it, like yoink, and then just hold onto the car and drive away? And it's like, yes, he actually did do that. Oh, it's so funny. The Sapphire, you enabled the firewall on Proxmox and created a security group and all that for the VMs instead of small VM to act as Bastion using Jump Rocket. Nice. Yeah. Anytime you you secure stuff like that. Yeah, Doc, Angelina's definitely in it. Although my wife does hair. That's one of the things she does on the side for people, and she used to do that professionally a long time ago, and she could not stand her hair in that movie. And I kind of I probably liked her when I was a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I can't get past how. But you know what saved it for us is Matthew Lillard, because both of us like Matthew Lillard. I think he's great. We've been laughing at him since, God, for sure Scream, but maybe even before that. If you guys saw Scream, he's getting stabbed, and he's like, I think you went deep. My parents are going to be so mad at me, man. And it's like, your parents, man, you've been killing people, you assholes. Hopefully I didn't just ruin Scream for anybody. It is a 28-year-old movie. If you don't know what happened in Scream, it's your own fault by this point. Yeah, Robodom, that was actually cool where they were pulling the tapes out, but they weren't doing hard drive, they weren't doing data center tapes. They were doing videotapes at a TV studio. If you want data center tapes, you want the beginning of the movie Eraser, where they have the CDs, and she actually takes the system out and burns there's a robot arm at the beginning of the movie Eraser. And that's got a pretty good one. Yeah. But man, I mean, just it was funny when they were naming all the hacker books. It was all Unix and DoD stuff, and I thought that was funny. I've pretty much used all of those in my career at some point, and I thought that was kind of funny. Where it's like the whole thing was about hacking and using Unix and Linux, but they never showed a single bit of Unix. Linux was still pretty new back then, but it was all Unix. So yeah, that guy on his freaking skateboard though, we were like, what? And we were like, is he just walking around with his skateboard in the office while he's talking to that lady? Yes, he was. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, but it should be. Actually, you know what? No, maybe this will be a good time while we're sitting here. This will be good for me for my notes. Let me pull up. Let me get a different Excalidraw. Actually, I'll do my Excalidraw in VS Code for this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my let's open a recent, and we will open the security engineering course. And I'm going to change that to dark mode. So background will be right. And then we'll hit Control A on everything and change them all to white. Yeah, that works. All right. So then what I need to do is in Unit 3, which is coming up, I have all this stuff, and then, yeah, these were different things that I went and found that I wanted for these guys. But what, sorry for Bastion. So let's write up my steps for doing a Bastion. Just because I need them for the lab anyways. And, I'll just get that. I'll just start a numbered list right here for me. And this will be in our Unit 4 Bastions, hosts, and air gaps. So the way my Bastion works, let's go walk through it. There's my GitHub. So let's go look at it, and we'll go into the roles Bastion deploy, and we'll go to tasks. And this fully sets it up. So when we're looking at this, this is truly a full Bastion deploy steps, right? And this is, in Ansible, but we need to create a user. So create the user or users to jail, right? So they need to be there. And then we create a line in etc sshd config for the jailed user. Okay. And then what we need to do real quick, so we are gonna, whoops, wrong way, that way, and then down. Oh, that's what it is. I forgot. All right, my bad. All right, so let's go to 3. I have to hit enter if I want to do it, so I'll just enter and go in a little bit. I didn't watch the net. It was on Netflix. I did not watch it. All right. We need to, so create a user, create that. So full Bastion deploy steps is then set the user. So to have the Bastion .sh shell as their home. So there's a pre deploy steps, write a Bastion .sh shell to lock in the user interaction in the, so this will be pre-deploy 1 in the excuse me. So write the Bastion shell to lock in the user interaction shell script. To lock a user interaction in the Bastion in the jailed environment. Okay. And then make the so full Bastion steps then are create that, do all that, for create the jail or chroot in this case. And then this has a bunch of sub steps, right? So you create the jail for the user, for chroot, and set or create the 5 directories they need to exist, right? And that is the bin, that's bin, lib64, dev, etc, and home. They need those. If they don't have those, they're host. Then copy in the correct files. right? And then copy over the correct files. That's all those things. Um, then you need to down here copy over the library files for each of the executables. Copy in the correct executable files. They need, in this environment, they need, should be right up here. I should be giving them bash SSH. And they actually don't even need curl, but I just gave that as part of a joke thing, but it's fine. So we do all that stuff. We do that, copy over the home. All right, those are all there. You need to make, there's these other system files that are kind of needed. Make the dev devices so that the user can interact correctly. If you don't make these, it doesn't work. And it's dev null. They need a trash can. They need as it were, if you're going to throw a human in a hole, or a user in a hole, if you're actually going to jail somebody, you need to give them a bucket. If you don't give them a bucket, they're eventually going to die from dysentery. Dev tty, so they have a terminal. They need dev 0 and dev urandom, and then dev urandom, and they need these things because if they don't have them, they can't execute SSH. Can't use SSH without those. And then the other stuff here is actually just, this is all reporting out to me. So when I write these, this actually reports out to us on Discord. Some of you guys have seen the jail stood up and the jail torn down. Those are the Bastion deploy steps for my system. You can deploy a Bastion by hand. In fact, I might even make the guys do it for the lab. There's a lab in Killer Coda that shows you the jail portion, but I don't show you guys the Bastion portion yet. That'll be in this week, and then also I'll put that in there. So those are the steps. You can find them right here on my GitHub. This has served us well. I'm going to need to eventually test and upgrade it with because we're eventually going to have a Rocky 9 box for my Bastion node on my environment. Miss Sapphire, that's exactly right. Yeah, if you put a sim in a room and then they don't have a door or a window, I'm pretty sure they don't live very long. I've never played any Sims games, but I know enough to know that if you put them in that room, they're probably not going to make it too long, right? Same thing with a person. You got to give them, if you give them the ability to do Bash has a bunch of libraries. And one of the things I show you guys when we build this, because I have a lab that shows you how to do this, but it's actually super easy. So you say which bash, user bin bash, and then you do LDD user bin bash. And it'll tell you these are the libraries that are needed. These ones right here actually are the libraries that are needed. These for bash to work right there. If those 3 libraries aren't there, it doesn't work. This one's just like a, I don't even know what this one is. It shows up on all of them, but it doesn't matter. You don't need it. Trust me, I just know that from having done it for a while. Say Sims 3 was your all-time fave. Got all the expansions. Nice. Yeah. A lot of that stuff, you know, I'm a big fan of a good time waster. So, let's save this one. Control S. We'll save it, and then next time I pull that up, that'll be in my actual. That'll be over here in my notes, right here. Next time I pull it up. But this is, yeah, guys, I love Excalibur. I think that's one of the best tools you can get into using as an engineer, because like it looks good. It shows the point that you're trying to get across. You can draw and mock something up really quick. I've shown you guys that I could share this with you and let you guys all use the same one as me. And then when I stop sharing it, you guys would just have your own local copy, and then you could save it. Yeah. Yeah, Miss Sapphire, I think it's a good tool. I think I've shown it to a few other people, and they use it for quite a few things. And yeah, you could just keep zooming out and keep building stuff, and then zoom in. Like we have other people. This is some of the other guys' diagrams on what they were building, but this was kind of mine because a while back before we started the new Linux sysadmin course, the guy said, "Hey Scott, will you show?" They said, "Will you show like your home lab? Will you draw the whole home lab up?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." So I'll show you guys kind of what we're working with in the home lab environment. So that's what we did. Court said you're running Proxmox with anything, but I have no idea what I'm doing just yet. Just following a tutorial so I can install VMs on it. Look into securing it. That's pretty good. That's the start, man. I tell people like the start is just to get something running. In fact, I tell you guys a lot of times the barrier of entry to using any tool is being able to get it to install, right? And then being able to get it configured enough to get it up for the first time, like to get the system up and running. One of the things I show you guys, like this is, without being too, oversimplifying things. When I show people Ansible, this is literally how I show people Ansible. Install Ansible, set up a host file. Those are the first two things. See it run a couple times with these copy and shell labs, and then you can just run with it. Most people, like by the time they do these first 4 labs, they probably already are better at Ansible than me. Like it's not that hard to be smarter or better than me at this stuff. Most people, the barrier is installing it and getting it to run the first time. Once you guys get it running, you're like, oh shoot, that's all, and then you just run off. And these other things are just tricks that I've picked up, in my career over the time of doing this stuff. It's not any, magical thing that only I know how to do. It's just a thing that once you see it, you're like, oh, I see what he was doing. It's pretty simple. So, yeah. So this is the environment. This is what we're doing. Yeah. Worst thing that happens if you get locked out of your own Proxmox is you just got to rebuild it. And that's actually not that bad if you're starting out, because now you got the experience of building it twice. I mean, like, what's better than building something one time? Building it twice, right? That's terrible if you're like building a bookshelf or something, but that's great for Linux systems. Because guess what? Like, I try to tell you guys, like, if you ever played like a video game, I think Sims are like this, but I know for sure all the MMORPGs are like this. You go and you lockpick or you fish for the first time, and what do you see? I have skill level 1. And that's how you are. You build a Linux server for the first time, and you literally just like unlocked the first level of the skill. Now you got to go do it 10 times to get the skill level 2. And then you got to start building more and more systems. And later on in your career, you'll be like, I don't even remember my first build, but I've built, 30,000 systems in my career or whatever. My numbers are probably somewhere maybe even north of that. Like automated, of course, but like it's not something that you guys won't. It's just the first step on a journey, and then you're gonna be like, so don't feel bad. Like if you break any of your stuff in your home lab, I don't know how many times you guys have seen me break stuff in my home lab, but I'd be willing to bet it's over 100. And I don't give a shit. I just rebuild it, right? And we just keep going. Yeah. Yeah, Quartz, and I bet you know a lot more about it from having troubleshot that and then finally throwing up the hands and going, I'm starting over. But you probably learned a lot more about the commands that you needed and the troubleshooting and all that stuff than you would have. If it was just a clean install the first time, you might never have appreciated some of that stuff. So it's yeah, I tell you guys all the time, don't ever think like, hey, I've wasted all this time. I mean, yeah, sure, when you get into engineering later, you might be like, oh, I wasted like 4 hours, doing whatever. But no, I mean, if you're learning how to build something and you're going to save that time later, it's perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. And sometimes some of that time is while you're also watching Netflix. So, yep. Oh man, I am I'm yawning. I don't think it's because I'm tired. I just think I'm. All right. Where are we at here? So, I wonder if my wife is actually home. I hear something going on down there. And Ranger's not on his bed, so it's a good possibility she's home. Kind of want to yell for her. I need a little thing to let me know when the garage door opens. I used to, when I had my room, my office used to be right over the garage door, so I would hear them. But now I'm one room over in the house, so I don't hear them anymore. Definitely sounds like something's going on downstairs, though. And it doesn't sound Ranger related. So, yeah, hopefully if you guys are doing the Linux group or the security group, or there's a Linux sysadmin or a security group, hopefully if you guys are doing those, you're keeping up on stuff. If you're lost and want to start it, all you got to do, hop down in the Discord, go to, there's two places. The beginner start here is the sections for the sysadmin and the security engineering course. This is the recordings. And then here's the ProLUG projects, which are where you go for the discussions. So here's the Unit 1 discussions for the sysadmin, and then for the security engineering. And then here's the two admin and the two security engineering ones. So, yep, there you go. So plenty of stuff for you guys to go and mess with and get in on there. And even if you guys aren't doing, even if you guys aren't doing straight the courses, like even if you're not doing the courses with us, you're welcome. Just hang out in there. And I mean, people drop questions in here all the time. There's always stuff going on in here. All kinds of events going on. People are talking all day about bash and system tricks, and looks like there's some off-topic stuff. There's all kinds of stuff going on down there. So, all right, I'll probably drop off of here. We don't have enough people to raid anybody, so I'll just go ahead and call it a night. But I appreciate everybody coming by. We will be focused on getting into the security and admin courses this weekend, and then everything else is just, keep at it. I know a lot of you guys are looking for work, and I know a lot of you guys are getting into this space, but I think you guys can handle it. So, all right, take care, everyone. I'll see you guys later.